My girlfriend posted a poll on Instagram asking if she should break up with me to try something with the hottest guy at the gym. She didn't even make it private. A friend sent me the screenshot. I didn't argue, I just packed my things while she slept. 2 months later, her sister wrote to me. She's devastated. The gym guy blocked her when he found out. Now she's asking everyone about you. They know where to find you. I have to tell you this because I still can't believe it. 8 months ago, something happened that completely changed my life. I was in my apartment that night, working late on some code as usual, when I got a message from Andrea, a mutual friend of my ex and me. It was just a screenshot, no text, nothing. It was an Instagram story from my girlfriend, Camilla, a poll. Should I break up with my boyfriend to try something with the hottest guy at the gym? The options were simple, yes or no. The results hit me like a punch. 78% had voted yes. My name is Diego, I'm 28, and I work as a programmer at a startup. Or I did, because in that moment, it felt like my entire world was crumbling in slow motion. Camilla and I had been together for 2 years that she apparently summed up in an Instagram poll for her 500,000 followers. I met Camilla in college during a group marketing project. She was studying communications. I was in systems engineering. She was magnetic, always laughing, always with her phone in hand, capturing every moment. She had this energy that lit up a room. I fell for her spontaneity, how she turned any ordinary day into an adventure. But the signs were there. I'd been ignoring them like an idiot. Camilla lived for social media, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Her whole life was content. At first I found it fun, even admirable. She built a sizable audience talking about lifestyle and fitness. Small brands started paying her for promotions. It felt like we were building something together, but there were always comments. You could do better. Your boyfriend seems boring. You should be with someone on your level. I used to defend her when I saw those messages, telling her to block them, that strangers' opinions didn't matter. I even confronted some in the comments, defending our relationship like a medieval knight protecting his castle. How ironic. The last few months I noticed changes. Camilla started going to the gym religiously. Nothing wrong with that, I liked that she had new hobbies. But she kept coming back talking about the same thing. Sebastian, the personal trainer who was apparently a Greek god reincarnated. Sebastian this, Sebastian that, how he fixed her squat form, designed her a custom workout, how all the girls at the gym swooned over him. God, I should have seen it. She started asking me to join her at the gym. At first, I thought she wanted to spend more time together. How romantic of me. The reality was she wanted to show me her obsession in person. She'd point out Sebastian from the treadmill while he trained other clients. Don't you think he's insanely hot? Look at those arms. He must have a perfect body under that shirt. I felt uncomfortable, trying to focus on my own workout, thinking it was just professional admiration. How stupid. The last few weeks, she'd been posting very specific stories, subtle hints that now made sense, captions about following your heart and not settling for less than you deserve, song videos about leaving relationships that don't help you grow. She'd been laying the groundwork, building a narrative. This poll wasn't impulsive, it was calculated. The most painful part wasn't that she wanted to break up with me. It was that she made it public, turning our private relationship into entertainment for 500,000 strangers. My heartbreak was viral content. I looked at the screenshot again. The comments were brutal. Obviously, yes, your boyfriend's a nerd. Life's short, go for the gym hottie. If you don't, someone else will. YOLO queen, update your relationship status. But one destroyed me completely, from her best friend Sophia. It's about time, bestie. That guy's not on your level. Andrea finally texted, I'm sorry, Diego. I thought you should know. I sat there for I don't know how long, an hour, 2 hours. The code on my screen blurred. I couldn't process what had just happened. Camilla was sleeping in our bed, after asking the world if she should dump me. In that moment, I made the clearest decision of my life. I wasn't going to confront her, cry, or beg. I wasn't going to give her more content for her social media. I got up, walked to the closet, and pulled out a suitcase. I packed the essentials, clothes for a week, my laptop, chargers, important documents. I did it in complete silence, like a ghost collecting the fragments of his own existence. Each item I folded was a memory. The shirt I wore on our first date, the jeans she said looked perfect on me, the sweater I'd given her for our first anniversary that she always stole to sleep in. It all felt surreal. When I finished, I sat at the desk and wrote a note. Simple, no drama, no accusations. I saw the poll. I respect your decision. I wish you the best. Diego. I left it on the kitchen table with the apartment keys we'd shared. Before leaving, I looked at her sleeping one last time. She looked peaceful, beautiful, completely unaware that her world was about to change too. Because I knew something she didn't. Sebastian, the Greek god of the gym, had a serious girlfriend of 3 years. I'd seen her in his Instagram stories months ago when I checked his profile out of curiosity. Camilla didn't know because she was too busy fantasizing to do basic research. I closed the door softly and walked to my car. It was 3:47 a.m. according to my phone. I drove to Carlos's place, my best friend from college. I texted him while packing, emergency. Can I crash on your couch? His reply was instant, doors open, brother. As I drove through the empty streets, I made another decision. At a stoplight, I took out my phone and blocked Camilla on everything: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, WhatsApp, Facebook, everything. If she wanted to play the disappearance game, I'd give her the most complete ghosting of her life. I had no idea what would come next, no plan, just one absolute certainty. I was done being a supporting character in someone else's life. The poll had spoken, 78% had voted, and I was giving them exactly what they wanted. Carlos greeted me in pajamas, looking worried but asking no questions. He helped me carry my suitcase and made coffee. It was 4:30 a.m. and I was shaking, not from cold but from pure adrenaline and shock. I didn't sleep that first night. I lay awake on his couch, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment of the last few months like a horror movie. Every sign I ignored, every time I defended her in comments, every time I felt proud to be with someone so popular. What an idiot I'd been. The first few days were brutal. I had no appetite, but Carlos forced me to eat. I lost about 5 kg in 2 weeks. My boss gave me a few days off because I looked like a zombie. I couldn't focus on anything. I only notified my new number to key people, family, close friends, work. It was strange not having the number I'd had for years, but also liberating, like starting from scratch. Carlos was incredible during those days, letting me stay as long as I needed, listening when I wanted to talk, and leaving me alone when I didn't. His other friends started coming by more often. I think he'd asked them to keep me company without making it obvious. The second week was when I hit rock bottom. I found a photo of us on my laptop from our first anniversary at the beach. She was laughing in that white dress she loved, and I was looking at her like she was the most beautiful thing in the world. That's when I almost screwed up completely. I wrote a long message, explaining everything I felt, what I didn't understand, asking why she'd made it all public instead of talking to me. I said we could fix things, that maybe I'd done something wrong, that I wanted to understand. 5 paragraphs of pathetic pleading. My finger was literally on the send button when Carlos came home from work and saw me with the phone, hands shaking, and that desperate look. Seriously, you're going to beg her after what she did? His words hit like a slap. He was right. I was about to grovel to someone who'd publicly humiliated me, who'd turned our love into an entertainment pole. I deleted the message. I didn't send anything. That was my real turning point. Next day, I called a therapist. If I was going to get through this, I was going to do it right. I didn't want to become the bitter guy who starts hating all women. I wanted to understand what happened, what was my responsibility, and how to avoid repeating the same mistakes. The sessions helped immensely. Dr. Ramers made me see that I'd lost my identity in the relationship, become so dependent on Camilla's validation that I'd stopped being myself. I'd ignored my own needs to please her. I also started working out seriously, not at her gym, obviously, but at one near the office. At first, it was just to burn off frustration, but then I started to enjoy it. It made me feel stronger, more in control, and that's when the rumors started coming in. Miguel, a mutual friend, texted me in the 3rd week. Apparently, Camilla had tried contacting Sebastián the same day I left. She sent him a super direct DM, saying she'd just broken up with her boyfriend and had been thinking about him a lot. His response was brutal. You seriously made a public poll asking if you should dump your boyfriend for me? That's pathetic. I've had a girlfriend for 3 years, and this is completely out of line. Don't message me again. And he blocked her immediately. Miguel sent me screenshots because Sebastián had told half the gym, indignant about being used in some client's public drama. I won't lie, it felt incredibly satisfying to read that, but I also felt pity for her. She'd publicly humiliated herself for nothing. The rumors kept coming over the next few weeks. She'd lost followers after the story went viral in gossip groups. Some brands canceled collaborations because the drama wasn't good for their image, and even her friends were tired of her because she wouldn't talk about anything else. Meanwhile, I was starting to thrive. I landed a major project at work. My boss noticed I was more focused, more creative without Camilla's constant texts and calls. My productivity skyrocketed. I also picked up things I'd abandoned: photography, my passion before I met her; Sunday soccer with friends, which I'd stopped because she found it boring; reading actual books instead of being glued to my phone watching her stories. I joined a hiking group I'd seen on Facebook, needing fresh air and new activities. The first hike was to a hill near the city. It was a diverse group, professionals of different ages who just wanted to disconnect. I met incredible people: Patricia, an architect who taught me to identify plants on the trail; Roberto, an accountant who was into astrophotography; Andres, a doctor with the best hospital stories; and Anna. Anna was a pediatric resident, 27, with a smile that lit up the entire trail. But what stood out wasn't her beauty, it was her calm. She walked at her own pace, helped others when they fell behind, and had this way of listening that made you feel truly heard. Our first conversation was during a break at a waterfall. I was taking photos of the scenery when she approached and asked about my camera, not in a flirty or forced way, but with genuine curiosity. I told her about photography, and she talked about her work with kids at the hospital. It was so different from any conversation I'd had in months. No ulterior motives, no performance for social media, no drama. Just two people connecting naturally. Over the next hikes, we started walking together, talking about everything: work, family, trips we wanted to take, books we'd read. Anna had read more classic literature than me, but I knew more about sci-fi. We swapped recommendations. One afternoon, after a particularly tough hike, the group went to eat. Anna and I stayed talking late at the restaurant. That's when I told her about Camilla and everything that happened. Her reaction surprised me. She didn't get indignant about my ex, didn't call her horrible, didn't offer empty consolations. She just listened and then said something I'll never forget. Sometimes the worst betrayals redirect us to where we really need to be. There was no judgment in her voice, no pity, just quiet wisdom from someone who'd lived enough to know life has strange ways of guiding you. That night, driving home, I felt something I hadn't in months: peace. I wasn't thinking about Camilla or ruminating on the past. I was genuinely excited about the next group outing. But the universe had more surprises. A week later, Miguel texted with fresh news. Camilla had lost a major contract with a sportswear brand. Their community manager had seen the pole drama and decided she wasn't the image they wanted. He also said she'd been showing up at places she knew I frequented: the cafe I sometimes worked at, my neighborhood supermarket, even near my office. She was clearly looking for me. Her closest friends had started distancing themselves. Sophia, who'd commented it was about time I got dumped, had apparently unfollowed her. The constant drama and obsession with finding me had exhausted her entire social circle. But what hit me most was when Miguel said Camilla's family was upset with her. Her younger sister, Valentina, who'd always been like my ally at family gatherings, had yelled at her for ruining the best relationship she'd ever had. Her parents, who treated me like a son for 2 years, were disappointed in how she'd handled everything. They raised her with better values. 5 months after the poll, I was a completely different person. I'd lost weight, gained muscle, had new friends, a more successful job, and rediscovered passions I thought I'd lost. And I had Anna. We hadn't made anything official yet, but something was growing, something healthy, organic, without pressure. She knew my whole story from day one and never judged me for being with someone like Camilla. One night after a stargazing hike, Anna and I kissed for the first time, under a clear sky, no cameras, no stories, no audience, just us and the vastness of the universe. For the first time in ages, I felt fully present in my own life. 6 months after the poll, Anna and I had built something beautiful and authentic. It wasn't the dramatic, toxic passion I'd had with Camilla, but something deeper: mutual trust, respect, real communication. Anna knew my whole story and I knew hers. She had a long relationship that ended due to incompatible life's goals. No drama, no betrayals, no social media involved. One Saturday afternoon, we were cooking dinner at my new apartment when my phone rang an unknown number. It was Valentina, Camilla's younger sister. I hesitated but answered out of curiosity. Valentina, a law student, always mature for her 22 years, said, "Diego, I'm sorry. I begged Miguel for your new number. I hope it's okay that I'm calling." Her voice sounded tired, almost defeated. "No problem, Vale. How are you?" "Okay, but I need to tell you something about Camilla. She's really bad, Diego, really bad." Anna looked at me from the kitchen with a supportive expression. I signaled that everything was fine and stepped onto the balcony for privacy. Valentina told me the whole story of the past few months. After Sebastian's rejection, Camilla had spiraled in a way no one expected. The rejection was public and humiliating. Sebastian had told half the gym, and the story spread among their mutual acquaintances. But the worst wasn't the public humiliation. She's obsessed with you, Diego. She asks about you every week. She's gone to all the places you used to go together, hopping to find you. She's tried contacting your parents, your coworkers, anyone who might know where you are. Valentina said their parents were furious with Camilla. They'd raised her with solid values and couldn't understand how she'd publicly humiliated someone who'd been family for 2 years. Mom and Dad are disappointed, Diego. They say she ruined the best relationship she ever had chasing a stupid fantasy, that she lost you by being immature and cruel. Her closest friends had distanced themselves one by one. The constant drama, the obsession with finding me, the refusal to accept it was over because of her own actions. Sophia, her best friend, had stopped talking to her after Camilla accused her of not supporting her enough in trying to win me back. She's in therapy, but it's not working because she won't take responsibility. She only talks about how to get you back, how to fix things. Her therapist says she needs to work on herself first, but she won't listen. As Valentina spoke, I felt a strange mix of emotions. On one hand, there was a primal satisfaction knowing her actions had caught up with her. On the other, I genuinely felt sorry for her. She'd been toxic to me, but I didn't wish her suffering. Vale, I appreciate you telling me this, but why are you calling? Because she needs closure, Diego. She needs you to tell her it's definitively over so she can start healing. As long as she has hope you might fix things, she'll stay like this. I explained to Valentina that I'd found my peace, that I'd moved on and built a new life. Contacting Camilla wouldn't be good for either of us. I'm not going to lie, Vale. I've met someone else, someone who treats me with respect and makes me happy in a way your sister never did. Going back would be unfair to everyone. There was a long silence on the other end. I understand. Could you just think about it? It doesn't have to be a long conversation, just something to give her closure. I said I'd think about it, but we both knew my answer was no. When I went back inside, Anna was finishing cooking. She saw my face and knew something had happened. I told her about the call. She listened without interrupting, then gave me the perspective I needed. Her karma isn't your victory, Diego. Your happiness is. You don't owe anything to someone who betrayed you publicly, and contacting her now would be cruel to her too. It would give her false hope. Anna was right. My well-being didn't depend on Camilla's misery, but I also wasn't obligated to rescue her from the consequences of her actions. I decided not to respond to Valentina, not to block her number, but simply not to reply. 2 months later, something happened I never could have predicted. Anna and I were at the supermarket on a Friday night, around 11 p.m., buying ingredients for homemade pasta. We'd left late because Anna had been on call at the hospital. We were in the dairy aisle when I saw her, Camilla, in the frozen section. She looked shocking, no makeup, hair in a messy ponytail, wearing an oversized gray hoodie and sweatpants. Her cart had 3 pints of Ben & Jerry's, frozen pizza, and a cheap bottle of wine. She looked broken. For a second, I considered turning down another aisle, but it was too late. Our eyes met, hers filled with tears instantly. She abandoned her cart and walked straight toward me as if Anna didn't exist. Diego, please, just 5 minutes. I need to talk to you. Her voice was cracked, desperate. Anna gently took my arm, not possessively, but in quiet support. Camilla, this is Anna. Anna, Camilla. Anna greeted her politely with a simple hi, no need for drama or territoriality. The difference between the two women was stark. Anna radiated peace and self-assurance. Camilla looked like someone drowning. Please, Diego, just let me explain. I made the biggest mistake of my life. I haven't slept well in 8 months. I've lost everything over a stupid mistake. Please. I looked at her and saw a completely different person from the confident influencer I'd known, but also someone who'd made conscious choices and was now facing the consequences. Camilla, I sincerely hope you find your peace and learn from this, but we have nothing left to talk about. Take care. I took Anna's hand and we walked to the checkout. Behind us, I heard Camilla sobbing, but I didn't look back. In the car, Anna asked how I felt. Strangely okay, I said, like I closed a circle. And it was true. Seeing Camilla in that state didn't make me feel triumphant or vengeful. I felt compassion, but also absolute clarity that I'd made the right choice 8 months ago. That night, as Anna slept beside me, I reflected on the journey. Camilla's betrayal had been devastating at the time, but it had pushed me toward a better version of myself. It forced me to grow, to value myself, to refuse relationships where I wasn't respected. Sometimes, the universe pushes you where you need to be, even if the push hurts. A month later, Anna and I got engaged. It wasn't elaborate or for social media, just a simple, sincere proposal during a night hike to our favorite waterfall under the stars. According to Miguel, Camilla found out the next day through Valentina, who'd hoped it would finally help her accept reality. Apparently it worked. For the first time in 8 months, she stopped asking about me. Never beg for a place in someone's life. The right person won't make you compete for their love or turn your relationship into public entertainment. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. The best revenge isn't hurting those who betrayed you. It's building a life so beautiful without them that you thank them for setting you free. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe to Ecos de Historia for more stories like this. Give it a like if you enjoyed it, and leave a comment sharing your experience. Your support helps us keep sharing these stories that connect us all.